Nice, President of the Houston Chamber of Commerce, and we're honored to welcome Jena Moreno to our next COVID-19 business webinar. Jena is the co-founder of the Story Hive. Hi, Jena. How are you?
Hi, good, Francis. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Videos are a part of a way to tell our story personally and professionally. And so we're very honored to have you tell us about that. So you're the co-founder and a creative video production firm, which opened in 2015. Can you tell us how things are going and how you got started in this industry?
Oh, sure. So I was a reporter for the Houston Chronicle for many years, and then occasionally we would do videos at that time, but I was really focused on storytelling through print. I went on to work for BBVA Compass, which is now BBVA, and I worked as a spokesperson, but mostly I did videos for the bank. And my husband and my neighbor worked in television in various TV stations across Houston, but one of them was the ABC affiliate here in Houston. And so we all decided at the same time that we had been creating videos for other people for many years, like 20 years each. And so we decided to form our own company, and it was the Story Hive. And here in the East End, we've always been in the East End since we started. And we started with just the three of us, and now we're at 11 people. And one thing that I forgot to mention was we also made documentaries before we started the Story Hive. And Alex Lester, one of the co-founders, created his documentary, which is called Stick 'em Up. And then Tom Gandy, who's my husband, and I created a documentary about quilting, and it's called Stitched. So anyway, that was how we started the Story Hive, and it's going well. It was tough right after COVID started because all of the events canceled everywhere, of course, as everyone knows. And we did a lot of videos either for events or about events. So we feel like we were one of the first to really get hit by COVID-19 because immediately all of our events canceled. Even starting in February, we started to get cancellations. And but it's really last month we're as busy as we ever were.
That's good. And I think we're having Jena is stuck right now, but we're hoping to bring her back. But we're going to go ahead and go to the slides and see if
we might be frozen.
No, you're fine. I can hear you now, Jena.
Can you still hear?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Perfect.
Great. Well, we're going to show some of these awesome slides and just tell the story of the importance of you telling your story via video.
Okay. So the one thing that COVID has meant for us is that we have a lot of clients who are sending us their videos, and we're editing them. So I just wanted to take a little time to talk about how you can do that. So if your company wants to do this, and it doesn't matter how, if you're sending us your videos to edit or another company, or if you're shooting them yourselves, these are just really good tips so you can shoot them well. So you want to look at your space, what's behind you, right? So we've had a lot of people and we've all seen this on social media, where there's a bathroom behind the person, and maybe there's a relative in that bathroom, or the bathroom door is open. Just at least close the bathroom door, or think about a different spot. You also want to be in a quiet space so your audio can be heard. People are really forgiving if the video doesn't look great these days, but if they can't hear you, they're not getting your message. So is there a gardener maybe cutting the grass right now? If you could ask him to be quiet during your recording, that would be great. So you really want to be in the center of the screen, and you don't want this giant headroom above you. So you want to be able to see your head. So if you can only see like this part, maybe reposition the camera. And try not to have too much clutter, because then you really have to pay attention to what's was behind you even more. We had one guy who had like a frame around him, so it looked like he was in a painting. This guy obviously has antlers above him. All right, so that's really important to clear the background and to be heard. So you want to record in a horizontal way, not vertical. There's a whole series of videos. You could look up vertical video, and it's just jokes online about vertical video. That's not how we watch TV. Think about how you watch TV. You watch it horizontally, not vertically. And then you also want the highest resolution possible. We're getting a lot of footage that's in the lowest resolution, but if you could just focus on 1080 or 4K or something like that. And it depends on the settings on your phone. So you just go into the settings section. All right. This is one of our employees, Eric. So you want to have a lot of natural light, but you don't want it to blow you out so you can't see yourself, so that you're too dark. So this is a tip on how to shoot with the window behind you. And if y'all want, we can send this presentation to you as well, so that you can have it in your back pocket for when you're really ready to shoot your own footage. Alrighty. So make sure your camera is stable, because we're getting like a lot of people moving around. And one way to do that is to put up a stack of books, and it raises up the camera. We're getting a lot of footage where basically we're seeing up people's nostrils, and that's not flattering to anyone. You also don't want to have to look down, because some of us have double and triple chins. I don't want to talk about me, but yes. So if you could just make sure your camera is stable and at eye level.
Good tips.
So those are pretty much our tips for shooting your own footage. And you can also look at our website and see some of those tips. So one of the things that has really helped us get through COVID-19 is we're also an animation house. A lot of video production companies or small, like mom and pop, one-person video teams, they don't do animations, so it was probably a little bit harder for them since none of us could shoot for so long. But we create our own animations, and during COVID, we were super busy, but one thing that we were able to finish off was this project called Buzz the Bee, and we're the story Hive. So we play up the bee thing a lot in hives, and so one of the videos that we did was about how to make a successful animation. And so there were a lot of tips that our main character here, Buzz, gave to viewers about how to write a good animation script. So if y'all want to check that out, that's also on our website.
I can see him in a costume person.
And speaking of other costumes, this is my dad, Jaime Moreno, and he was a mariachi for many, many years. He lives in this little house that's behind my house with my mom. And one of the things that we did to keep our team busy during the COVID-19 was we did a Mariachi Monday series, which you can find on our social media pages as well as our website. But my dad would sing a different song, and we would edit it together, and every Monday we would release this. And we did this for 9 weeks, I think. But my dad was doing it without any bands, like without any instruments to back him up. And also we weren't playing music, so to avoid any music rights issues. But so one of the reasons we didn't have any musicians is because my dad is 80 years old and has a heart condition, so we have not let him out of the house. But this is our team, and this is how they would show up. And if you look right behind Matthew, who is one of the videographers in this shot, my dad decided one night to make his own teleprompter because he couldn't remember the words. because he hasn't sung in quite a few years. But that little cardboard box right near the window, that's his teleprompter. um, I told him later, we have a teleprompter, we could have brought it for you. But anyway, he spent the whole night writing down the lyrics on this cardboard box and singing, reading from them. Anyway.
Innovative. I love it. I love his outfit. I love your dad.
Thank you. And he has a mariachi outfit in every color. We have one in yellow for the story Hive that we've borrowed from him. So these are just photos of our video team in action. A lot of times people ask us, what all do you do on set for safety? And you can see that our guys are always wearing masks, and we try to abide by the 6-foot rule. We also don't do makeup and hair anymore because of COVID, and we send a much smaller crew. But, we're not a team where we're going to show up with an iPhone or we're going to show up with like one camera and that's it. This is, we tell you we're shooting a video and you get the full production value. Alrighty. And then this is Matthew, who is shooting B-roll of a building that is being built now during COVID for one of our clients. The other photo was for an interview. So our producer was interviewing somebody who was going to be on set, but Matthew was just sitting in for the person who was going to be interviewed. All right. And I think, all right, this is a video. This is a project we worked on before COVID hit, like right before, and it ended up winning a Telly Award, which is an industry award, a few months ago. We won a few Tellys this year, and one was for an animation, and then one was for this video that we did for RSE, which is an energy company. And so these are actors. A lot of times we interview people on set, and then we create a video about that includes those interviews. So if we're doing a profile on the chamber, for example, we would interview Francis and a few other people. But in this case, this is a video that's acted out. So these are two of our actresses, and they were great on set. And we ended up renting a house for this video because it needed to look like somebody's home that uses a lot of energy. We have a lot of fun on the set, as you can tell. It's hard work, but a lot of fun. So a couple years ago, we bought this property at 4010 Canal here in the East End. It's located sort of by the old coffee plant and by Lockwood. And so this is a 15,000 square foot building. And what we want to do is shoot videos in there. We'll also have our offices in there. And, we had some delays because of COVID, but we're back on track. And I think the next photo, this is what it originally looked like when we bought it. This is what it looked like maybe a month ago or so. And you can see that we are putting up all new metal in our company colors, which include gray and yellow. But so this steel is all gray, and we put in a new roof. And right now what we're doing is putting in the walls, the interior walls on the property. And so to your right, you see a dummy who is dressed up in safety gear, because safety first. But we like to have a lot of fun on social media and in person. And what we do is we have different characters to promote what we're doing at the time. And this is our Moofle, our dummy. And we like to take pictures of him all over the place. But right now, he's really focused on the construction of our building. So you'll see a lot on social media about what he's doing or watching in terms of what's happening at the site at Canal Street. And I don't want to give away too much, but we did just get another dummy that is a woman, so she may be his girlfriend.
Now, we can follow you on Instagram and Facebook to find out those characters?
Yes, yes, we post a lot on Instagram and Facebook, a little bit on Twitter, and of course LinkedIn. Yeah, and so that's pretty much who we are. We've been in business now for almost 6 years, and yeah, just let us know if you have any questions. Just let me know.
Well, that last slide, hopefully everyone, if you didn't jot down her information, we will have a copy of this on our website, and it's also being replayed on Facebook Live. So make sure that you do that. But one question that the audience has is, do you animate books? Do you do animation for books?
It's funny you should ask. I have a really good friend named Lauren Steppe, who I sat next to at the Chronicle for many years. And I mean, I think he's a genius, but he was a columnist at the Chronicle when I was there. And then he went on to write a lot of books. And he is also a columnist for the Texas Monthly. But one of the books he wrote about was, we think would turn into a great animation, like an animated book. And so we've thought about doing that right now. I mean, that would just be a personal project. So perhaps in the future, when our animators aren't so swamped, everybody who was shooting a video, suddenly they wanted to animate a video instead, since we couldn't shoot. So our 3 animators are super busy. But yes, we would like to animate some books. For Lauren, we just turned one of the books that he's written into an audiobook. So that's a new venture for us, our first audiobook. And that should be coming out pretty soon, but we finished it about 2 months ago. So yeah, we would love to do an animated book.
Wonderful. And for those of you who are on the Zoom call, if you go to the chat room, there is a link to more of her shooting tips, and then also contact information right there. But we'll also add that to our social media pages. So Jena, what has been your most favorite project to work on?
We probably do several hundred videos a year. And we do everything from videos that are 15 seconds to hours long. And, I really think it's the people who make my videos, like a video, my favorite. I'm proud of, most of the work that we've done over the years. But I feel like I've made really great friends, like Carlos over at Gulf Coast Distillers. I enjoyed working on that project. I enjoy working on the projects for nonprofits that really make a difference. Right now we're doing stuff for Habitat for Humanity, for example, and I really liked the videos that we've done for them over the years as well. Videos that really make a difference. We're doing some videos now for Next Seed that help local companies raise money. So, it's not one specific video, but it's just either the people who I'm interviewing, who I just really love at the end of the day, or the videos that make a difference, I think, are my favorite. And my husband also is in charge of animations. So, anything that he works on, and I get to see what goes on behind it. I really like just seeing that whole process.
Great. Now, I know you talked about how COVID hit. It hurt a lot of us. But as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, how did you all survive during this time period?
Well, it was my birthday weekend when it really hit, and I spent the whole weekend crying, like a lot. And because I really thought, we had built this wonderful team over the years, and I really didn't want to lose any of them. And I'm happy to say that we haven't lost any of them. And I mean, some of it was having to figure out like makeup work, which was basically how to promote ourselves on social media, that they did while we weren't shooting. But we kept them busy, and now we're busier than ever. So that's great. What we did was we applied for the PPP and we did get it. We have a wonderful banker over at Iberia. We were actually just switching over banks when the crisis hit. And so she was great in calling me at like 11 p.m. on Saturday night to help make sure that we got the PPP. And then we also got another grant from Harris County. So that really helped us through. So, I mean, for the 3 months that we really didn't have much coming in, those grants got us through.
That's wonderful.
So, yeah, I'm super grateful for all of the people who helped us on that.
I did see the video. I think Commissioner Adrian Garcia interviewed you, presenting and thanking you for applying and giving you that grant.
Yeah, that one really made a difference. That got us through July, as I like to say.
That's wonderful. And you didn't lose any of your employees, and that makes a difference. And I'm so glad that you're still here in the East End. So what made you choose to put your business here in the East End?
So I have lived in the East End since college. I went to U of H, go Cougs, and I met my husband at U of H, and we bought our first house over on Park Street, and then we expanded to ultimately include other family members in our compound, and so now we live on Bell Street, but we have always lived over here, and then our partner Alex Lister lives over on Polk. So we don't like driving, quite honestly, and we just love the East End. I love that I walk to work, and I mean, right now we're still homebound, especially since the building is under construction, but a few of us will return to work whenever our building is completed. But yeah, we rented maybe a 700 square foot building over on Telephone for a few months, and then we rented a 3,000 square foot building on Preston, right behind the East End district, and then we bought this building over on Canal Street. So just 15,000 square feet. It's huge. But yeah, when we were looking for a building, there was no way we were leaving the East End. We love to be near Via Arcos, and our employees love being near Via Arcos. I hope they come back soon. And it's so centrally located. It's so easy for our clients to come over from downtown. Our clients are either downtown or in the energy corridor. And if they're in the energy corridor, some still live near downtown. So this is super convenient for them.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And we love having you guys here and expanding your business. I've got a couple of questions from the audience. It's what is the best recommendation for video links for the average attention span when using videos for social media or commercials?
2 minutes. Don't go over 2 minutes on any video that you're going to put on social media. So, like I said, we've made videos that are 15 seconds long. I like, to me, a sweet spot is 30 seconds if you're really focused on social media. But I know you want to include everything that is great about your company. But you want to just entice people to either like look at your website or come by or whatever. You don't need to tell them every single thing. Remember, we can't remember everything that you just told us in that video. So just focus on a few key points, maybe 3 points, and that's all you need to get across.
Love it.
It's the same thing as when I was a reporter. And I would go and interview somebody for an hour or 2 hours, and I'd have this notebook full of things to write about. And a good reporter is one who just focuses on a few things, not everything they learned.
Good tip right there. Another question is, do you mentor any students looking to get into the industry?
We were having a lot of interns right before COVID. I think our last intern was in January, and we had up to 3 interns over the summer of 2019. We did have one intern who started in January, but and he was so great that we moved him over to full-time. And now we have him back. So his internship sort of ended before COVID, and we have him back as a full-time intern again as of last week, I think. Anyway, so most of the time we don't hire our interns to be full-time. This student was exceptional, I have to say, and so totally worth hiring. I wish that was the situation all the time, but some people don't really want to go into video production, but they want to learn a little bit about it. I mean, we had one student who wanted to learn about costume making, so we had her make our costumes because we actually we did have a lot of video that included costumes for a while.
That's great, giving these students an opportunity like that. Thank you for that. Another great question is, as an entrepreneur, what was the biggest lesson learned when starting your business?
Oh, I mean, how much time do we have? I feel like there's always, there are so many mistakes that I made along the way, that the list is super long. I think the biggest mistake I made was, the tax ID. Just make sure that the tax ID number lists every single person who's involved in the business, so you don't have to change it later. So that was a mistake I made. But I think that, as a former reporter, I'd like to say a recovering reporter, I am hesitant to take any risks in general because, I reported for 15 years about things that didn't work out, companies that overexpanded or, hired wrong or whatever, got into legal troubles. So I always look at a decision as, oh, wow, this could go wrong and this could go wrong. And, just very negative frame of mind because I was a reporter. But I think taking risks is important. And one way I learned about taking risk was I was involved in the 10,000 small businesses program at Goldman Sachs. And that was one thing I really took away from that was take a risk. And now you see that 15,000 square foot building that we've purchased, and that's our risk. And it was really scary in March when we were losing all of our business all of a sudden. I mean, we lost 100% of our shoots in March. And so it was scary. It's like, oh, shoot, should we have done that? But it was a good decision because people were still shooting their own videos. Like they were still renting that facility even during the beginning of COVID before we started the construction process, because we didn't start construction on that building until July.
That's good news. And we love Liz from the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. So if any entrepreneurs are out there, I highly recommend you looking at that. It's a free program. You have to apply, and it is a wonderful, vigorous program. But everyone that I've interviewed or talked to that's gone through the program has come out so much better on the other end. So thank you for sharing that. Now, you mentioned that you work with your husband. He's one of your partners or founders. When working with family and friends, how do you keep the business lines healthy?
So my husband and I worked together when we were based in Mexico City. So he was the photographer for my projects, and I was the writer. So we did that for more than 2 years. And then we worked together on a documentary. And so we have been in business together for many years, really. I mean, the documentary took us a year to make and then 2 more years to promote. It was success, in our opinion, a very successful documentary because it actually regained the investment we put into it. But we were used to it. I think, you just can't be sensitive. Like everybody has to realize, okay, that's just work, and I'm going to get really mad about something, and you're going to get really mad about something, but oh well, it's just work. And the point is that it's for the good of the company and it's for the good of the employees. And we sacrificed a lot for the last 6 years personally. Vacations is one. all of the owners took a huge pay cut during COVID so that we could keep our employees. But that's how we keep the business alive. And it's really our obligation as company owners to them.
Good.
So
This has been so wonderful. I'm a big fan of yours, Jena, and all and I didn't know a lot of this about the behind the scenes. So thank you for sharing that with us. Is there anything else that we didn't ask or that you thought of that people out there should know about making videos?
I think that, you really have to come to your video with a story, and nobody's going to pay attention to your video if it's just a bunch of random facts. Sorry, there's a fly. If it's just like, we make 5,000 widgets, and, over here we have, this, and over here we have that. I mean, just focus on your story. And we try really hard as story professionals to help you focus on that story. And we really appreciate it when you listen to our guidance, because we think that, we've been doing this for a long time as storytellers, a quarter century, really. And so we're only looking out for the best for you. And so, that's our opinion as our company, but also if you're going to work with another company, just make sure that that's also what they want, that they want your best story out there. It doesn't have to have like explosions and helicopters and all of that to impress clients, potential clients, or other business owners, or whoever your audience is. It just has to be the best story.
Wonderful. Well, in closing, any words of encouragement for other entrepreneurs that are, going through COVID just like you guys are? Will be over and we'll all be back to semi-normal. But any words of encouragement for anybody out there that's watching?
I mean, a few months ago, I think I was really down on all of this, but I feel like we've turned the corner on COVID in terms of we've all figured out how to operate our business. And if we could, just focus on that go ahead and just try to make the best decisions for the long term and not necessarily for the right now. I think that's it's hard when you're in the middle of it thinking, I can't, whatever it is, make payroll or pay for the building right now, or whatever your crisis du jour is. But just try to think, okay, how will this affect the long term? And somehow we'll get through today.
I love it. Thank you so much, Jena, for joining us today. Everybody out there, we'll have this video on our website, and it'll also continue to play on Facebook Live. Please share it with anybody, friends, colleagues that may benefit from this, and please give them a call. They're local entrepreneurs. They live here in the East End, and they want to help you tell your story via video. So we'll see everybody next Friday for our next Tuesday for our business webinar. Thank you, Jena, and you have a great day.
You too. Thanks, Francis. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.